Thank you for coming out on this beautiful afternoon to help us welcome Dr. Aaron Podolefsky. Dr. Podolefsky, we've had a wonderful time with you so far on the tour and at dinner last night, and we want to thank you for agreeing to participate as what can be described as a rigorous 3-day process. But it's the Georgia Southern way to include as many people in our processes as possible, and we hope this is evidence of the kind of culture that we all love and enjoy. So welcome. We're very glad you're here. In just a few minutes, our student member, Brandon Cook, is going to give you your formal introduction, but I'd like to say just a few words. If you've had a chance to look over Dr. Podolefsky's resume, you'll see that his dissertation involved a study of dispute resolution strategies employed by tribes people in the highlands of New Guinea. And yesterday, a faculty friend dropped by to say that that sounded like excellent preparation for presidency. I might add that the data collection involved them living among these tribes for 8 months. He and his wife, Ronnie, enjoyed their time in New Guinea. They had a 1-year-old at the time, which is quite a story.
UCM's innovative, revenue-neutral approach to reducing energy consumption by 32% and substantially alleviating a deferred maintenance backlog has received widespread recognition by national media. Podolefsky previously served 7 years as Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at the University of Northern Iowa, long considered one of the top public comprehensive universities in the Midwest. So please join me in giving them Dr. Podolefsky a nice Georgia Southern welcome.
Thank you so much for that gracious introduction. And I have to tell you, to you both, thank you so much for the proper pronunciation of my name. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon, and I am so pleased to see so many of you come out and glad to have the opportunity to speak with you. It's been a wonderful day and a half so far, and I'm looking forward to another half a day tomorrow. I hope you don't mind that I know Trey said it would be a formal presentation, but if you don't mind, I'd like this to be a little less formal and to engage you in more conversation. And to do that, I'll just try wandering around. And you see, I've got such a projection in my voice that I can get away from this and it still works. I feel more comfortable this way, and I can pace just like I was a professor with a class of students, most of whom are sitting in the back. Reminds me of the old days. I was asked to talk on 3 questions, the third of which is a 2-part question. The first was, why Georgia Southern? The second one was, what's my leadership style? The third was, what's my philosophy of higher education? And part 2, what challenges do you see to higher education at the present time? And so if you don't mind, I'll just move directly into those, and so I can finish them up in 10 minutes or so, and then give you a chance to ask your 44 questions. And I'll try to keep those answers brief, although they're normally 50 minutes per answer. Anyway, 5 years ago, if you'd asked me why Georgia Southern, I would have said, well, I'd like to be a president, and Georgia Southern fits. This year, being in my 5th year as president of the University of Central Missouri, the answer is a little bit more complicated and a little bit more nuanced. The answer probably starts with seeing the ad and seeing the characteristics that you are interested in Georgia Southern. It starts with the notion that you said you want to be a small field, large opportunity campus, And it reminded me of the vision I brought to the University of Central Missouri, that I said we wanted to be a nationally recognized university that delivers a world-class university education by providing a small college learning environment coupled with large university opportunities. Now, if I had written that 5 years ago in preparation for coming here today, it couldn't have been closer, because that small campus feel with large university opportunities took me a long time to think about. For years, I started at a Research One university in West Virginia, got tenure, but because Students were lost in the shuffle. I felt I didn't want to make my life there. So I moved to an institution, Western Kentucky University, then Northern Iowa. And I struggled with the faculty to say, who are we? We know what the large universities are, we know what the small ones, small baccalaureate institutions are, but who are we? And I didn't want to define us by what we're not, so what are we? We're the best of both worlds. So that vision, that sense of who you are, is quite attractive, and it does fit. But more importantly, Georgia Southern has a whole list of things that I could go through that make it attractive. The intellectual vitality created by having doctoral programs, by having the broad range of undergraduate and graduate programs that the institution has, the range of what you might call front doors to the institution of a performing arts center, a raptor center, a botanical garden, a theater that we had to tour. Those are all wonderful opportunities to engage the community, and they provide for intellectual excitement. Division I athletics, or 1AA, as I had when I was at Northern Iowa, but is different than where I am now. All of those things together make this a really exciting opportunity to look forward to come to, because it's a great place. There's one other thing. About 11 years ago, you launched a search for a president, and I was invited to come for an interview. I'm sorry, that's not true. I lied. It was a vice president. And I was a dean at the time. And about 2 days before the campus interview, I got a call that said, the president is stepping down, we're closing the search. So, well, that's unfortunate. So the next year, you advertise again. And I said, okay, let's try this one more time. And by that time, I was interim provost at Northern Iowa, and you launched a search. I came to this campus. Some people even remember me. And I had a wonderful experience on this campus. But when Dr. Gruby was hired, he decided to postpone the search for the provost and be on campus for a while before he made a selection. So the search was closed again. That's 2 strikes. So I thought to myself, this is either 3 strikes and you're out, or 3rd time's the charm. But when I thought about it, I really reflected, you can believe this or not, but I had a great campus visit.